In the 2023 season, the world of Formula One has seen Red Bull Racing take the lead so far ahead that it's making everyone else look like they're driving a Formula 2 car, and Max Verstappen clinched his third championship title way before the season is due to end. However, amidst all the racing glory, there's a storm brewing in the Red Bull camp, and it's got nothing to do with what's happening on the track. Two major dramatic rumours are circling the team, creating quite a buzz in the F1 paddock and beyond. First up, we have the tale of the long-standing rivalry between two influential figures within Red Bull, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko. These two have quite a history dating back 28 years. It all started when Horner needed a trailer for his Formula 3000 team and headed to Austria, where Marko gave it him and Horner won the championship. Fast forward 11 years and the dynamic duo began working together at Red Bull after Marko recommended Horner to run Red Bull's F1 team in 2005. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Marko has found himself in hot water on multiple occasions due to his controversial statements, such as his xenophobic comments about the team's driver Sergio Perez. Horner didn't take too kindly to Marko's words, especially when he said, "Let's remember that Perez is South American, and so he's not as focused as Max Verstappen or Sebastian Vettel was." The power dynamics within the team began to shift after the passing of Red Bull's founder Dietrich Mateschitz last year. Mateschitz' close advisor, Marko, had been untouchable in the organisation, but the founder's death made Marko's position more vulnerable. Reports from Brazilian outlet Globo suggest that a political movement within Red Bull is underway, with a plot allegedly being hatched to remove Marko from the equation. Marko was Dietrich's inside man at Red Bull. Continued to provide him with insider information about the team while influencing the team with the founder's thoughts and ideas. It seems that Horner has been trying to assert control over Red Bull's F1 operations for some time, and a battle between the two senior figures may determine Marko's fate within the Red Bull group, with a decision expected imminently. Horner's clever distancing from Marko was evident after the Singapore Grand Prix when he emphasised Marko's contract is with Red Bull GmbH. He's not an employee, he's not on the payroll of Red Bull Racing. The situation has only become more complicated since the passing of Dietrich Mateschitz. The billionaire's son, Mark, was initially set to inherit the organisation, but Thai shareholders have been asserting their influence, trying to steer the company's direction, including that of both Red Bull Racing and AlphaTauri. The tension continues as Christian Horner seeks to gain full control of Red Bull Group's motorsport activities. He appears to have some backing from Oliver Mintzlaff, who has been advising the company's board post-Mateschitz. Notably, Horner's influence is illustrated by the appointment of Peter Bayer as CEO of Scuderia AlphaTauri, a move that was allegedly pushed by the Red Bull team boss. Additionally, rumours suggest that Horner is also trying to offload Yuki Tsunoda, a confirmed driver for AlphaTauri in 2024, but not seen as a long-term candidate for Red Bull Racing. However, Marko himself quickly responded to these rumours, stating, "Contrary to many assumptions, I have to disappoint the, as they say, doomsayers. There is no summit this week. I have a contract until the end of the year. When and how I stop, when it's over, I decide, and not, for example, Mr. Horner." It seems the 80-year-old is not ready to exit the scene just yet. But Marko's tenure has had its fair share of critics, including former colleague Joan Viadelpra, who didn't hold back in his assessment. Viadelpra bluntly said, "Take Helmut Marko away from the effing team. Every time he opens his mouth, the only thing he's doing is hammering. It's an area that you don't need to talk about, because if things don't go well and things are tough for a driver, you don't need someone telling you that you're useless." On the other hand, Red Bull's chief, Christian Horner, has downplayed the rumours of friction between him and Marko. Horner clarified to Mirror Sport, "My relationship with Helmut goes back to 1996, when I first bought the trailer from him to compete in the Formula 3000 Championship. We've always enjoyed a very strong and open relationship." Horner emphasised the valuable role Marko plays within the team and highlighted their mutual history dating back to when Marko recommended him to Dietrich Mateschitz, Red Bull's late founder. He added, For as long as he wants to continue, he's still a very sprightly 80-year-old. I don't see any change in how we work. Roles evolve and the business has evolved so much since we first came into the sport. Despite occasional disagreements, Horner clarified that there was no intent or desire to remove Marko from the team. In the end, it appears that the drama surrounding Marko's future within Red Bull may not be as dramatic as it initially seemed, and the partnership between Horner and Marko remains a pivotal aspect of Red Bull Racing's operation. And now, here's the latest twist to the story. Red Bull's reigning champion and star driver Max Verstappen has weighed in on this conversation. Autobild, a German automobile news and magazine agency, has investigated this case and uncovered a possible coup in the making. It appears that Horner is planning a power move. He's rumoured to be in good favour with Red Bull's Thai owners, who own a significant 51% of the shares. The Briton is said to have leaked to the media that the Thai side of the company does not trust Marko and, therefore, wants him removed from Red Bull. Oliver Mintzlaff, the acting Red Bull boss on the European side, is also said to be aligning with Horner. Max Verstappen is one possible saviour for Marko, who could potentially prevent Horner's alleged coup at Red Bull. Autobild lists the three-time F1 champion as a possible roadblock for Horner, the one who can convince Mintzlaff to make informed decisions to end this internal power struggle. Reports even suggest that Verstappen might side with Marko, making this a high-stakes showdown that could impact the future of Red Bull Racing. And yes, Verstappen is not pleased with the possibility of Helmut Marko's departure. His attachment to Marko has come to light, and he's made a shocking admission to the Red Bull bosses. As per F1 Insider, Verstappen has told Oliver Mintzlaff and the Thai boss that if Marko leaves, he will leave too. Verstappen is contracted to Red Bull until 2028, and this situation might force him to retire from the sport or shift camps earlier than planned. This power struggle between Horner and Marko could cost the team dearly. Apart from Verstappen, it's clear that the Austrian boss does not have many supporters. Quite the opposite. This drama is unfolding rapidly, and the stakes are higher than ever. With the Red Bull Group's board of directors convening this week, all eyes are on the future of Helmut Marko. Will he remain a key player within Red Bull Racing, or will he be shown the exit? According to O Globo, this is the first time that the advisor must seriously fear for his position as the power struggle within Red Bull intensifies. The drama of the track is just as riveting as the racing action itself, making the 2023 season one to remember. It appears that Sergio Perez, the current second fiddle to the reigning champion Max Verstappen in the Red Bull Racing team, is also teetering on the edge of a precipice. Reports from the Brazilian outlet Globo suggest that Perez is walking a tightrope, and his future in the team is hanging by a thread. It's not a matter of contract, but rather a matter of performance. Perez, who is currently holding the number 2 position with 224 points, seems to have exhausted RBR's patience. The claim is clear. Sergio Perez must secure the runner-up position in the next 5 races, or his seat at Red Bull for the 2024 season is at risk. It's a bold request that pressures the Mexican driver to prove his worth alongside Max Verstappen. In the wings, waiting for an opportunity to pounce, is none other than Daniel Ricciardo. The Australian driver, who made a mid-season return to the grid with Red Bull's sister team AlphaTauri, is reportedly set to return next weekend at the F1 United States Grand Prix in Austin after recovering from an injury. Liam Lawson's impressive performances as Ricciardo's temporary replacement at AlphaTauri could provide the team with a solid full-time option should they decide to change. The situation is tense, and Red Bull seems to be hedging their bets. If Perez fails to meet the performance expectations, Ricciardo is a viable alternative. The Australian driver brings racing talent and a strong commercial appeal. He's a marketing marvel, beloved by fans and the media in America and all over the world. The gamble on Daniel Ricciardo might not be as big a risk as it initially seems for Red Bull. They have clear expectations for Perez. If those aren't met, they have a plan B waiting in the wings. In Formula One, where every move is scrutinised and the unexpected is the norm, this latest twist adds an extra layer of intrigue to an already captivating season. Let's not forget that any change in Red Bull is likely to influence every other team and driver on the grid. Empty slots and management gaps will allow for others to grab the opportunities to stop the march of Red Bull racing and give themselves a clear advantage. The 2023 season has brought both racing glory and off-track drama for Red Bull Racing and the entire grid. Behind the scenes, two big stories are making waves. Let's see how these stories unfold, because in Formula One, anything can happen, and the drama of the track is just as riveting as the racing action itself. Hit the subscribe and like buttons to stay updated on all the exciting F1 stories and developments and all the news and surprises on and off the track. That's it for today. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep your engines revving!